Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to this lesson. Now, once you've imported your audio file and the audio file you're working with is reference, let me play it again.
Come on. Seriously? You really cannot stop yourself from lying.
That's the audio file you're supposed to be working with. So make sure you import the correct audio file. Again, alternatively, you can import your own. And the next thing to do is, first of all, even before we inspect the rig, is check your frame rate. Make sure you're under 24 frames a second. As you can see, 24 frames a second. You can go to your preferences, time slider, and make sure your frame rate is 24, and this one is 24x1. Another way of accessing the preferences is by going to Windows, Settings, and Preferences. And we should go Preferences, and again go to your time slider and make sure that your settings match mine. Right now, once you've done all of this, it's time for you to inspect the character rig you're working on. Remember, okay, not remember, but this is where I would advise just taking a basic rigging course, and you should be fine in understanding why some of these controls were placed there by the rigger. So you don't necessarily have to be a good rigger, but at least understanding why and how rigging works would really help you in animating. And just check what all of these things are doing. As you can see, your mouth, this one opens the mouth, this one, I don't know, does this squash stretchy thing. Same case with this one. And rigs are different, right? This depends with the robustness of your rig. Right, every rig is kind of different. For even Henry and the waitress rig, it's kind of different from this one. This one is more, it has more extra controls that can give you cartoonish like movements like this. I mean, controls like that. I don't think Henry can do that, but it's one of those things where you just need to inspect before you begin. Make sure that you understand why and more, and not even why, but what most of these controls do. And once you've done that, it's time for you to create selection sets. Now, what are selection sets? It's just an easy way for you to select. Maybe you've selected these items and you don't want to keep on selecting them again and again. A selection set is like a shortcut for you to, whenever you click on that button, it always selects these items. Now, this is because, the reason that's why this is important is because you want to group some of these items. Like for the mouth controls here, the jaw, the tongue, the lips, you want to group them into one selection set where, when you're animating, you work in steps. You don't just start animating everything at once, right? In this case, we start with the mouth, we check the cheeks, and then we check the eyes, which most of the time go with the eyebrows, and you want to group them into their own selection sets. That way, at least, once you're done with the mouth, at least you're done with the mouth. You can now move on to the eyes and, work with the eyes. So how do you actually create selection sets? It's easy. In this case, I would recommend opening your character's mouth to see if the tongue has controls. Because generally, when you're speaking, your tongue is also moving. So I tend to group my lips and mouth controls together with my tongue controls. If it doesn't have tongue controls, it's fine. So in this case, Ray has. So I'm going to open it wide. It even has teeth controls. So this is really a robust rig. So I'm going to click on this first one and hold down Shift and select all of this, first of all, on the outside. Let's do that. Oops, I want to select them in order. Now, I don't know why this one is acting up. Sometimes if it doesn't want to select, just highlight like that. But now the problem of that, you risk selecting other items that you don't want to select. So I generally try to click. If it's unavoidable, I just drag like that. And I think I can select this. Actually, no, let's go to the tongue and select the first one, second one, third one, fourth one. For the teeth, teeth don't move, so I'm not going to select them. And I'm going to select this, and then this. And then we can go to this, and then select this, and then we can end by selecting that. And now we have most, if not all, of the mouth controls. I think this is for the jaw, for the stretchy jaw. So I'm going to hold down Control and deselect this, remove it from the selection. So yeah, so you go to, once you've done all of this, once you've had your item selected, you go to Create, and you say Set, Quick Select Set, and rename it properly. Remember, don't space is going to refuse, so you just use an underscore or use a dot. So in this case, ray, and I'm going to say mouth, and I'm going to say add to shelf. And in this case, if I was to deselect and select this again, as you can see, I have all these controls selected. And now I can close my mouth, knowing that if I wanted to select my tongue, I know it's under this selection set, so I know my tongue is always selected. Okay, and again, reason as to why you create selection sets is you want to keyframe some of these parts together. Like, you don't want to put a keyframe on this one and then you reach like a point like and you realize, oh, I did not keyframe this. You see, that can be quite tedious, because generally now my way of selecting like selection sets, or not selection sets but grouping parts, is if I look onto the mirror right now, and I do recommend, if you're an animator, you have a mirror or a camera facing you, is if you look into the mirror right now, you can kind of see which parts are moving as you speak. And for me, I know the jaw is moving, the tongue is moving, the upper lip, the lower lip is moving, and also the cheeks. But these parts generally tend to move in tandem, like they tend to move together. So that's my theory behind grouping or creating selection sets. Selection. Selection. Yeah, it's selection sets. I don't know why I felt like I said it the wrong way. And I'm going to leave you to create selection sets for the cheek areas, for the eyes, and for the eyebrows. So remember, group the eyebrows and the eyes together, group the cheeks together, and in the next lesson we should begin animating the vowel sounds. So see you in the next lesson.